What's up, guys? My name is Chris. I just got done at the PPG down here in Tampa. This video is for Tommy Rowe's channel, a good friend of mine, and they said finish 12th after Swiss today, so we're gonna go back tomorrow and finish out Top Cut. So let's get into it because I don't really like to drag these out. I played Invoked Despia. So the engine is 3 Alubers. This card's absolutely insane. It's a facilitator. It searches a spell or trap branded when it's summoned. In the graveyard, if a fusion monster leaves because of an opponent's card effect or whatever, you can special summon it from the graveyard, and when it's special summoned, you can target an effect monster your opponent controls and negate its effect. So it comes up. 2 Tragedy. Tragedy is whenever it's used, whenever it's sent to the graveyard or banished by a card effect, it will search a Despia monster from your deck. When it's in the graveyard, you can banish it to add a Despia spell or trap from your graveyard to your hand. And then we play Dramaturge, which is whenever that's used as a fusion material and is either banished or in the graveyard, you can special summon it. And then its on-field effect is if a monster from the extra deck is special summoned, you can target a monster on the field and negate its effects for the turn. So they're super versatile, and it didn't really need a big engine. So. And then now we'll get into just the regular stuff. All hail Alistair. Don't really need to talk about him. And then how to play Albion and a Fallen of Albaz. The Albaz is for Nadir Servant. You can't search this off in Nadir Servant because it is only a Fallen of Albaz when it's in the hand or in the graveyard. But when you draw it, you can reveal it, send a Fallen of Albaz or a branded spell or trap to the graveyard. Put this on the bottom of your deck and then draw a card. And then this is a fusion deck, so obviously 3 monster hand traps are just ash. Get into the spells, 3 meltdowns, and then the branded stuff, the cool stuff. 3 opening and 2 branded in red. Wanted to go opening because it was the starter card of the branded. You discard a card and you special summon a branded from your deck in defense position. For the rest of the turn, you can only summon fusion monsters from your extra deck. If it's in the graveyard and your opponent goes to destroy a fusion monster you control, you can banish it and it just gets protection, doesn't destroy. And this card is absolutely insane. Branded in red. It's a quick play, just actually like the other one, but you'll target a Despia or a Fallen of Albaz in your graveyard, then add it to your hand. Then at resolution, if you want to, you can fusion summon a monster by using materials from your field or your hand, and it can be any monster, I believe. I think it's actually level 8 or higher. Yeah, just a level 8 or higher fusion monster. So you can go into almost anything. And then your double invocation. I went a 2-0 route today, apparently, since the ban list because we used the updated ban list for this event. So 2 tactics, 2 prosperities, 2 fusion destinies, 2 servants, and then just the terraforming, because there's a 1-card combo. And then just 3 imperms, a Schism to search, and then Screams of the Branded. So this card is what you send off of Albion. So when it's sent to the graveyard to activate a Fallen of Albaz effect, you can set it to your field at the end phase. But its actual effect, when you flip it, is if a fusion monster leaves your field this turn, you can special summon a fusion monster from your graveyard or that's banished. So it gets around a lot of stuff, like if your opponent ends up banishing like your DPE or something and they think they've solved it and you have this card still, you can still just pull your DPE back out. It's also awesome in the battle phase if you're running over something with DPE, and then you use DPE's effect to pop itself, to pop a card of theirs, and then you just get to use this and special summon something back. Or if you use a Mechaba effect and Mechaba leaves, then you can just flip this back up, special summon Mechaba, and Mechaba's live again. So 40 cards. And obviously the extra deck, Artemis and Verte for the only Link monsters. The branded stuff, Masquerade. This is a burn card. Your opponent has to pay 600 life points to activate card effects or cards. when it's in the graveyard, if your opponent controls a monster, a fusion, an XYZ, a link, any of those, you can special summon this from the graveyard. It's a quick effect. And then once it leaves the field, it's banished. And then this one, Despia, I don't know. These both take a Despia monster plus a light or a dark monster. This changes the attack from all monsters on the field that are not level 8 or higher fusion monsters, or maybe just level 8 fusion monsters, level 8 or higher. It'll change all their attacks to 0. If it leaves the field, you can special summon a Despia or a Fallen of Albaz from the deck. This card came up once. These two cards, I don't really want to explain every single card, but they're needed, they're good. This card is, I'll explain a little bit. You just get on the field, it takes a Despia plus a light and a dark, and it's a quick effect. You can special summon or banish a monster from your like a fusion, XYZ, one of those types of monsters from their graveyard. Banish it or special summon it to your side of the field. So it's great at taking their DPEs too. And then obviously the King, DPE, and the Invoke stuff, 2 Mechabuzz, Purgatrio, and Kaliga. I never went into that today. There was an opportunity that I missed going into it because I banished it off of Prosperity. And then I drew into a way to make it. It would have made the game easier. Still won, didn't matter. And then Kaliga is in there specifically for banishing Celestials. It comes up a lot. And I had to make it so my opponent didn't steamroll me for next turn as well. Because 1 effect, 1 attack per turn. And then your window and your APK. So you Nadir Servant, send this, search Fallen of Albaz, and then you search your Schism, and then you just discard Fallen of Albaz, and since it's a dark, you just have a live window automatically. And then the last card is I didn't play Construct because I didn't want to get into a weird position trying to resolve Schism, because the usual field is Mechaba, and then you go to Schism, banish your APK and a dark, but if they were smart enough to like maybe Crow or what is it, Eldlich, ban it, that trap, and they banish my dark monster, then I'm going to be forced into making a Construct, and I'd have to lose my my Mechaba on board, and I didn't want to risk that. So, and the side deck's honestly nothing special, so I can definitely share that. Just 3 droll. Brave tokens were legal this weekend, so I didn't want to do Nib. I wanted to stop my opponent from getting to their Omni Negate, because that is just like a 3 summon, and then they just have their Omni Negate. So Nib is not as good right now. So I went for Lancey instead, so they didn't even get to that point, and PK was everywhere. And then your token collectors for the, not any Brave token engine at all, but this was just specifically for Swordsoul. Dark Ruler no more. I shouldn't have to explain that. Going second against bigger decks. Don't want to have to deal with their monsters. And then double Cosmic Cyclone and Feather Duster. I honestly didn't feel good about my back row removal because Skill Drain is back at 3. And I kind of wanted a couple more cards, but it worked out today. But just because it worked out today doesn't mean it was right. I don't know what I would do otherwise. Probably 2 Lightning Storms is the best bet, but having a field spell makes Lightning Storm just so much worse because you can't just play it whenever you want. But that's 40. I got nothing else to say. Shout out to the boys down here in Tampa for the weekend. I had fun. Like I said, we'll play out top 16 tomorrow. Don't really think I have anything else to say, and video's probably long enough. So thanks for watching. Make sure you guys like.